Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago. Serious concerns are mounting over the idle resources inside the Couva Children's Hospital, even as operations continue on a phased basis. For more than 10 years, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago have been waiting for the Children's Hospital to become fully operational. However, to date, this has not become a reality. Speaking at a recent media conference, Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo revealed that millions of dollars worth of medical equipment remains unused. My response, politicians, now bear in mind, it's not because of UNC, it's because of PNM. PNM was in office for 9.5 years, almost made it to the full 10 years. PNM decided to abandon that hospital for that space of time. So I said politicians should be held criminally accountable for wasting taxpayers' dollars. Just imagine, millions of dollars, left abandoned just out of spite. Politicians should be held criminally accountable for wasting taxpayers' dollars by abandoning hospitals, schools, and other state-owned property due to their own sinister political agendas. Schools, people left with overgrown bushes, just abandoned, wasn't completed. Millions of dollars went down the drain because PNM refused to open schools and the Couva Children's Hospital because it was constructed by Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar and her administration during her first term in office. Time to see some arrests and prosecution taking place in high places. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, we the people want justice. Don't go anywhere. More local, regional, and international news up next.
For more than 10 years, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago have been waiting for the Couva Children's Hospital to become fully operational. However, to date, this has not become a reality. When TTT News toured the hospital, empty and unused beds were seen in the pediatric wards. In the neonatal intensive care unit and pediatric ICU, there were no signs of life. Everything untouched, some still covered in plastic, according to Chief Executive Officer of the Southwest Regional Health Authority, Dr. Shivanan Gopisinghe.
Couva Children's Hospital was made for children, and we have, as you see, the six-bed pediatric ICU. As you said, very modern, very state-of-the-art. We also have the NICU, the neonatal ICU, and with fully equipped so that, this hospital is prepared to treat neonatal problems as well as pediatric ICU when it's fully opened.
Built at a cost of approximately 1.6 billion TT dollars, the hospital was officially opened back in August 2015. It comes with 150 adult and 80 pediatric beds. Between 2020 and 2022, it was used to treat COVID-19 patients. On Sunday, 15th March 2026, Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo told the nation that there are many pieces of equipment at the hospital that are still waiting to be used.
There were 217 pieces of medical equipment that were never used. 217 pieces that were never used, a value of some $20,685,125. So that is equipment that would have been parked up at the Couva Hospital for some 10 years and was never used.
Following the general elections on April 28, 2025, the hospital was recommissioned as a specialist children's hospital with its first pediatric surgeries performed in November. Speaking at the recommissioning ceremony, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar said while it would cost $78.2 million for the full operationalization of the hospital, the activation will continue on a structured phased basis.
This hospital is now part of our national solution with respect to healthcare. On December 1, 2025, the first pediatric specialist clinic was held right here. Since then, children have received care in pediatric neurology, rheumatology, neonatal care, and endocrinology and pediatric cardiology.
Since then, specialized pediatric clinics have been held weekly.
UNC Alderman Viliana Ramuta Singh clashed with San Fernando Mayor Robert Paris during a statutory meeting yesterday after she was blocked from raising questions about finances and city operations. PNM just don't want it to hold them accountable, but they love holding UNC accountable at all times, even at the local government level. Ramutar Singh says she has been trying for weeks to get answers at the committee level, but was again shut down when she attempted to speak. However, the mayor says Ramutar Singh has ambitions to become mayor. So what? Noting that there has been no suspension of casual workers, no financial impropriety, and no wastage of public funds. We must just take your word for it, right? Show evidence. You know, like a certain PNM patriot, a lot of them, but a particular one says, bring proof. Well, bring proof, Damia. Bring proof and show us.
I have 3 or 4 questions that I would like to pose to this council.
1 second. I am unaware of any questions.
I would have sent these questions to the CEO's office and the corporate secretary. It is my right to ask these questions. In the same manner, Mr. Coutier would have asked the questions last statutory meeting.
No.
Your worship.
I don't want us to go back and forth.
I don't want to go back and forth either.
Right.
Your worship, Madam CEO, members of council, members of administration. I will bring my issues up in any other business. I thank you.
Well, respectfully,
urgent matters.
Leader of the opposition,
Your worship, Madam CEO, members of council, members of administration,
respectfully, I am the chair, the overall chair of the meeting. We do follow standing orders, and I am saying to you all, do the right thing.
But all of my correspondence, the CEO is normally sent from the CEO to your office, and I get a notification. It will be forwarded to the mayor's office.
So I am saying to you, I am
asking you if I can see evidence that Mr. Coutier and others who have brought issues up in questions and other urgent matters, if they had written to you directly prior. And if you can show me this evidence for the last statutory meeting, I would say no problem. Until then, I'm well within my right. I am well within my right to ask my questions.
Well, legal business. Both of you can stand. And therefore, hold on. I want to say something. So I have a lot of friends in the media, and I'm glad that you all are here. But you know, the thing is, what I will not do today, and what I will not do is I will not break the standing orders of this council. And therefore we are guided by the standing orders of the council and the questions that I didn't see no questions. When I see the questions, it will be asked in the relevant committees.
Your worship, Madam CEO, members of council, members of administration, I have asked these questions several times in several committees, and it is now imperative of me to ask these questions here.
Therefore, as I stated, and I have told you all before, if you all have questions, the correct protocol is to send it to the office of the mayor. I have not seen anything pertaining to any questions, and what members will not do is will not go against the standing orders of this council. We will discuss this at the committee level, whatever questions. And Madam CEO, if questions were brought, you and I will have a discussion, because I know nothing about any questions today. Right? So we will have this discussion after. Right? So with that being said, we have reached a point where it is that I will call this meeting to a close and ask that everyone have an enjoyable day. Thank you.
And today we had statutory meeting, and I was well within my right to bring up some issues which I had been raising at the committee level, and I have yet to receive any response from the CEO, CTA, and mayor. So I thought it was necessary to come here today and bring it up at the statutory meeting. But as you can see, with the usual manner in which the mayor deals with issues that are pressing and relate directly to him, I was shut down in trying to present my questions at the statutory meeting, at the questions part of the meeting, which is my right. I was well within my right, other matters, other urgent matters, questions, to ask these questions. But the usual manner, the mayor tends to just bully us around and expect us to say nothing. Well, I'm here to bring to the media's attention issues that we have been asking pressing answers for and are yet to receive these answers.
Hi, I'm Councillor Sasha Ali for the Electoral District of Marabella South Distabello. I want to talk about the victimization, the misuse of power, and the unfair treatment as a councillor and as councillors for the San Fernando City Corporation. Recently, when we received that email in regards to the suspension of casual workers, we have also heard that only these councillors standing before you here are the ones who did not get the opportunity to submit names. And what we're seeing is a selective process, and the decision making between the CEO and the mayor is one that only is focused on selecting who they want to select, because we were left out. All the rest of PNM councillors and one UNC councillor was afforded the opportunity to continue employment. Where's the fair and transparency in the decision-making process between the mayor and the chief executive officer? They have to be held accountable, and I am calling on the higher-ups. I'm calling on the union. There are casual workers who would have protested with the union, and they feel as though they are being victimized because they protested, right? The union represents all workers. As I said before, casual workers are workers too.
Tunapuna MP Roger Alexander distributed SEA preparation kits to students of Riverside Hindu School, St. Benedict's RC Primary School, Tunapuna Presbyterian School, and Good Shepherd Anglican Primary School ahead of Thursday's exam. Students were not only equipped with essential materials, but were also inspired as the minister delivered a powerful message on the importance of education, discipline, giving them proper moral values and so forth, trying to instill those type of values into them, and perseverance. His words encouraged their young minds to stay focused on strive for excellence as they prepare for the SEA examination. And I would like to say again, I wish them all the best. Know your capabilities. Know that you can accomplish all your goals. Just relax your mind. Do not feel stressed. Do not feel worried. No sort of tension. Clear your mind. Pray in Jesus' name that God will open your minds to be able to fulfill your capabilities. And understand that even if you fall short, even if you do not end up with your first choice, that's okay. You can still accomplish all your goals, even if you end up with your second choice or third choice or whatsoever. You can still obtain all the qualifications, all the passes that you need in order to obtain whatever job that you want in the future, whatever career you want to follow in the future. Putting that aside, giving credit when credit is due, Roger Alexander is doing quite a good job as an MP in this area, in this constituency. It's just that I really don't believe that he's appropriate for the role of Minister of Homeland Security. Give someone that has better qualifications, someone that is more capable of handling such a very important role to implement certain types of measures needed to address our crime situation here in Trinidad and Tobago. Give him a different role. I'm not saying to cast him aside, Prime Minister Campbell Persad, but he's not suitable for the role of Minister of Homeland Security.
Before I give you something, give you all the confidence that you all have in your exam. It's not the end of the world, and I hope that your parents understand that. I'm willing to support you. Yeah? Give it your best shot. That's all you have to do. Give it your best shot. Yeah? We look forward to you replacing us in the future. Somebody's going to stand there and be the priest. Somebody's going to stand there and be the principal. Somebody's going to be a teacher. Most importantly, all will be parents one day.
Cultural shifts are needed towards skills training. Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, Professor Prakash Prasad, said that this is especially important for the advancement of education in the region. Professor Prasad was delivering the keynote address as CARICOM advances the development of a framework for micro-credentials under the Caribbean Regional Registry Roadmap. Micro-credentials are short, focused, and often digital certifications that validate proficiency in a specific skill or competency. Because remember, not everybody is going to really achieve much in the academics, and therefore a lot of times you can still end up with a good job and receiving a good salary if you go and train for a particular type of skill. The proposed framework aims to create a cohesive, inclusive, and transformational response to learning at the tertiary level. Professor Prasad noted that the cultural shift towards skills training is essential if Caribbean education stems are to remain relevant and future ready. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that you're not going to pursue your academics as well, try and obtain at least your basic education. But learning a skill is really important, especially in these times.
In the Caribbean, that, hierarchy is still very important. All jobs are important. All jobs are important. And therefore, we should have that cultural change. So part of making micro-credential important and acceptable, and especially with regard to skills training, we need to know and put this education out there that it is important, just as important.
Micro-credentials are short, focused, and often digital certifications that validate proficiency in a specific skill or competency. The proposed framework aims to create a cohesive, inclusive, and transformational response to learning at the tertiary level. Professor Prasad noted that the cultural mental shift towards skills training is essential if Caribbean education systems are to remain relevant and future-ready.
They have to give up their lives to go to university for 3 and 4 years, study day and night to get a degree. So in effect, you reduce your living. Micro-credentials allows you to live with your family, have, in other words, in a broad way, education and living balance, life balance and education balance. This is what we need.
The Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission has advised school principals and supervisors that it will activate an additional hotline to ensure that efficient electricity service is maintained at all secondary entrance assessment centers from Tuesday, March 24th until the day of examination on Thursday, March 26th, 2026. A statement from the Commission said that effective from 8 a.m. on Wednesday, March 25th, 2026, and continuing until 3 p.m. on exam day, principals and supervisors can call the TNTech hotline at 794-4823 or 794-7264 to report any disruption in their electricity service or any electrical safety concerns. The standard trouble report numbers 800 BUB, 2852 and 800 TTEC 8832 remain available 24/7. TNTech said there will be no planned, and this is what is most important as well, there will be no planned interruptions scheduled for exam day. That is great news. Regional news up next.
For Wednesday, March 25, 2026, Trinidad and Tobago can expect isolated early morning light showers that will give way to a sunny and at times breezy day. The night will be generally fair despite the possibility of an odd brisk shower. Conditions, fair to partly cloudy and breezy with increasing atmospheric moisture. Rainfall, high chance of a brief, isolated shower, especially over hilly areas. Forecast, maximum temperature 30 degrees Celsius in Piarco and 31 degrees Celsius in Crown Point. Lows, 23 degrees Celsius in Piarco, 24 degrees Celsius in Crown Point. Heat index 36 degrees Celsius to 38 degrees Celsius. Marine conditions, moderate. Open waters will have waves up to 2.0 meters, while sheltered areas will have waves below 1.0 meter.
A comprehensive general history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines covering the period leading up to 2025 has now been published by 4 Vincentian historians, Dr. Cleve Scott, Dr. Adrian Fraser, Michael Denny, and Arnold Thomas. Volume 1 of the book, which focuses on the genocide of the native peoples and African enslavement in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, was officially launched on Friday evening at the UE Global Campus. Minister of Culture, Castraka Cupid, was among many in attendance. He said it is with great pride that Vincentians can now tell their own history through its important publication. I just hope that it coincides factually with what has been recorded as history in mainstream history records for centuries.
They say people who don't know their origins will not know their future. This first volume spans an immense passage of time from approximately 5000 BC to the year 1838. On those pages, a universe of human experience is delicately documented. The ingenuity and spiritual depth of our indigenous peoples, the heroism and sacrifice of Paramount Chief Joseph Chatelier, our national hero, and the heartbreak and injustice visited upon our Garifuna people.
Long lines at automated teller machines, ATMs, could soon be eliminated as Guyana prepares to introduce a digital payment system, easing reliance on cash transactions and the need to carry large sums of money. This was announced by President Dr. Irfan Ali during his address at the opening ceremony for Demerara Bank's new Better Wage Thing, East Coast Demerara branch on Monday. The head of state emphasized how Guyana is quickly adapting to enhance its financial ecosystem. In the next 6 months, I've advised the governor of the central bank that we must be in a position that a national payment platform must be fully operational, and we must have access to digital wallets at a national level and international scale, the president said. While Dr. Ali underscored the importance of upgrades to the banking sector's physical infrastructure, he noted that the very nature of banking is being transformed. There's one thing that I don't agree with the Irfan Ali administration, this digital type of economy. If you're going cashless, President Irfan Ali, what you're doing is giving the government, giving the state, giving the banks control over people's decisions, which is part of the Antichrist agenda. Sorry to say it. No one can be able to buy or sell unless you are complying. And even if your administration may not do that, you don't know if your administration will or your party will remain in power for decades to come. What is going to take place in the future? I don't agree with this. If you want to have it both ways, cash and also with the online digital thing, fine. But do not go cashless. Jamaica's domestic workers are to benefit from training, improved labor protections, and opportunities under a memorandum of understanding signed between the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and the Jamaica Household Workers Union. Good news coming out from Jamaica. The agreement, coinciding with the union's 35th anniversary, builds on the existing partnership between the entities by providing a more structured and strategic approach to delivering support to JHWU members. It addresses several priority areas for which the union has long advocated, including labor rights, training, occupational safety, and health awareness, employment services, and public education initiatives. I'm telling you, there's a whole lot that Andrew Holness and his administration is doing that is confirming to me that the Jamaicans seem to have made the right decision to give him a third term in office. Investing in young minds in Bahamas. The Delta Epsilon Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity has officially partnered with Ridgeland Primary School to provide mentorship, academic support, and character building programs for students. Through this partnership, members of Phi Beta Sigma will work directly with students, particularly young boys, offering ready support, mentorship, and personal development program to build discipline, confidence, and leadership skills. Try and train them one time to respect women as equals, man. The initiative is part of the chapter's broader education and social action agenda, focused on strengthening the communities from long-term engagement. I hope you also try to put into their minds that gang culture is not the solution. Gang culture is not a wonderful way of life. Matter of fact, it's destructive. Barbadians turned out in large numbers for the first national traffic consultation. The way forward held at Dayton Griffith Secondary School in Kingsland, Christchurch on Monday, where several solutions to ongoing traffic challenges were proposed. Minister of Transport and Works Kirk Humphrey, who chaired the session, addressed the audience and acknowledged the challenges, noting that a comprehensive road tour is being planned. International news now. A royal first. England's King Charles III will visit Washington and address Congress next month in his first state visit since taking the throne. The visit marks the first time a British monarch will speak before American lawmakers since Queen Elizabeth II in 1991. Let's just hope that he doesn't come to try to even give the Democrats, the far-left radicals, any more sort of motivation to stand up against Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump is doing a very good job in America. News reporter asked this question: what would be your message today to the TSA agents who have been staying home in recent days amid this impasse? President Trump replied, well, some of them are in need of money, because the Democrats cut off their money. I blame the Democrats more than anything else. A matter of fact, basically, it is the Democrats to blame because they are the ones that don't want to pass the bill, which will ensure that the shutdown ends. All because they don't want ICE to be funded, All because they don't want the law enforcement agency to go out there and do their job by getting rid of very dangerous criminals that belong to very elite gangs, well-known criminal gangs. Take them off the streets and send them back to their respective countries.
What would be your message today to the TSA agents who have been staying home in recent days amid this impact?
Well, some of them are needing money, because the Democrats cut off their money. I blame the Democrats more than anything else. But some of them, they didn't get paid because they're not funded by the Democrats. This is a Democrat problem. In fact, I actually said to the Senate, why would you say this is a Democrat problem? I think the polls are showing us a Democrat problem. And they'll do anything actually to hurt our country so they can try and win the midterms.
Florida state troopers respond to blue state critics who question why commercial truck drivers must read and understand English. Living in an English-speaking country and have to ask that question. Wow. State law requires all commercial drivers to comprehend road signs and directions for the safety of everyone on the highway. You're speaking Spanish and you see in English and you don't understand it and you can't even read the signs. What do you think is going to happen? It's the law. It's been the law for a long time. It's a safety issue. Yeah, how are you going to dispute that? How are you going to get around that? My dear lefty radical Democrats. Wow.
Some people might think, what's the big deal? They're just behind a big rig. Why do they need to speak English?
How good is your English? Can you speak any English? No, don't speak no English.
Salida. Salida derecha.
Can you say it in English? What that means? What does it mean?
What would you say to that?
Well, I would say, number one, it's the law. It's been the law for a long period of time. That it's a safety issue. If there was a crash or something like that, I would want to make sure that that driver would know how to respond, slow down for upcoming traffic or a crash that has happened ahead.
Now for the interesting fact segment, Amsterdam is taking a thoughtful step to protect animals by installing small staircases along its canals. With an investment of about 100,000 euros, the city aims to help cats and other small creatures escape safely if they fall into the water. That is wonderful. I just love that. I don't care about what is the type of politics or whatsoever that is involved in that country right now. I just love, you see, when humans show compassion for animals, God give us a dominion over animals for a reason, you know. It's to take care of them. The smooth canal walls have long posed a risk, but these simple additions offer an easy way out. It's a smart, humane solution that highlights how urban planning can include wildlife safety, inspiring cities around the world to adopt similar ideas.
Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News Travel Adventures. Located on the Arizona-Utah border within the Navajo Nation, Monument Valley Navajo Tribal Park is a stunning desert landscape of red sandstone buttes and towering mesas reaching up to 1,000 feet. Famous from classic Western films, it offers iconic views, particularly at sunrise and sunset, featuring landmarks like the Mittens, John Ford's Point, and the 17-mile Scenic Drive. Key highlights and activities. The Scenic Drive, a 17-mile dirt road, best suited for high-clearance vehicles, allows close-up views of iconic formations like Three Sisters and Ear of the Wind. Guided tours, Navajo-led Jeep tours offer deeper access to restricted areas like Mystery Valley or Hunts Mesa, providing cultural context. Wildcat Trail, a 4-mile, self-guided hike, allowing visitors to walk around the base of the West Mitten Butte. Photography, known for the crimson mesas the area provides, dramatic, high-contrast photos, especially during sunrise/sunset. Forrest Gump Point, a popular, scenic photo stop on Highway 163 just outside the park. Across every border and every sea, our journey around the world continues. Every sunset here is a sunrise somewhere else. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you tomorrow at the next horizon.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.